What's the weirdest, coolest, funniest way you found out a girl liked you? Went with this girl to this rodeo farmer's fair thing. She wanted to see the rabbits. When we got there, one of them turned around and started pooping. While pooping, it was kicking its back legs so it got all over her. She sat there for a minute while I tried to find napkins and she went, "Well, this can't get any worse, but I really want us to be a thing." She packed me a lunch every day for about a month in high school. Was totally oblivious as to why until my buddy pointed it out. The only thing on my mind was, free food, nice. Seemed to be hitting it off with a girl from my hostel when in Warsaw while out drinking down the river with everyone, but wasn't 100% sure if she was into me. She asked to text her friend from my phone to let her know she was okay. Hers was out of charge. She then went to the bar to get us drinks. So naturally, I read the text, which was something to the effect of, "It's name with that cute sodium geek guy from our hostel. This is his phone. Don't wait up. Fingers crossed I get lucky. Old Town at 11 tomorrow, by the way. Open and shut case." Missed the train to Berlin the next day. She had her friend corner me at the school lockers between classes. "Hey, so blank likes you. You should ask her out." After a week of social ineptitude and more than a little patience on her part, I finally asked her out. Now we're engaged. I was at a bar and a girl I'd consider way out of my league came over and struck a conversation about the out-of-state sports team I was wearing. She offered a drink and then cheered me. She lingered for a second and then she left. My friend who was next to me called me a f***ing fool and asked why I didn't continue talking. I felt so dumb. I was sitting by my friend who had his girlfriend with him and he had his arm around her. I decided to joke around and hold my arm around the empty space next to me and say, "Yeah, I've got my girlfriend here too." After that, a girl who had been dropping hints that I'd missed slid into my arm and smiled. Being the Casanova I am, I awkwardly laughed and said nothing. She was the pretty girl in the bus for me, way out of my league. One day, it was really crowded and we were really close to each other, so she just put her head on my shoulder and looked at me. She told me, "Can I stay like this for the whole trip? I feel comfortable with you." It was my first girlfriend ever, so that was nice. We wrestled at a party and she told me she was kinda into me. After getting too drunk at said party and passing out, I woke up to a text saying she was disappointed we couldn't have fun that night. She said we should reschedule though, so I could try her on for size. I was pretty lacking in confidence in college. Asked a friend that never had problems in that department for advice. He said, "The next time I see a girl I like, ask her something crazy, like, 'What color are your panties?'" I rolled my eyes. Horrible advice. He said, "Try it." I blew it off. Later that night, I'm talking to a friend of mine, telling her about the horrible dating advice I got. She asked, "What was it?" And I said, "Well, what color are your panties?" She says, "Black." We'll be married for 10 years next year. I worked at an amusement park the summer before I went to college. One day, I ended up working alongside a cute girl. We made small talk during our little bits of downtime. Talked about where we were from, pets, what kind of cars we drove. She got off a couple hours before me. We said a quick goodbye, and I finished out my last couple hours of work. When I started my car to leave, I noticed a piece of paper under my windshield wiper. She left her phone number and invited me to hang out that night. I was talking to this girl for a few weeks, and I thought things were going really well. We were both heading to the same party, so I asked if she wanted me to pick her up anything to drink. She wanted some Smirnoff and asked how much it was, so she could pay me back. "Looking for our first kiss," I said. "It's $8, but you could just pay me back with a kiss." Her response, "Oh, $8. Okay, cool, I'll have that for you at the party." I was not expecting to be shut down like that, but that's fine. I go to the party with no intention of entertaining her, but she's talking to me all night. At the end of the night, she hands me the $8, and I say, "Yeah, I guess this is better than the other option." Confused, she says, "What other option?" Turns out my phone cut out right after I said $8, and she didn't hear the rest. She quickly took her money back and preferred the second option. We're now going on 2 years of marriage. I was in a class with a friend of a few years. I found this funny picture on my computer that said something to the effect of, "I don't get it when people drop hints." I picked them up, hand them back like, "I'm sorry, was that for me?" And she looked at me and said, "Yeah, you do." I had a wait what moment and instantly realized we had been on like 3 first dates and I had had no clue. I was 15, never had a girlfriend or anything. Went with friends to one of those Trail of Terror things during Halloween time. My friends ended up getting other friends they knew to come too. So as we are walking down the trail, One of the girls just grabbed my hand and held my arm the whole way through the event. Afterwards, we split up a bit, but her friends caught me and started asking, "Do you like her? Do you? She thinks you're cute." Well, being the kid I was just like, I don't know, I guess. Obviously, I liked her and was just kind of starstruck in the moment that this was just falling in front of me. Then at the end of the night, we walked back for the cars and we said goodnight, and she just quickly went in and kissed me. Long story short, she was my first girlfriend, and we dated for like 2 years before she ended up sucking one of my friends off in the car one night. Well, I already kind of knew, considering that she gave me her number, but back when we were just talking, I got a page-long text out of nowhere saying that she wasn't looking for a relationship at the moment because she just got out of a bad one. I was bummed, but respected her wish. After a while, I got a call from her where she explained that there was another person who was in one of her classes with the same name as me that was trying to make moves on her, but he was weird and she didn't like him, so she had gotten me mixed up with the other guy in her phone on accident. She apologized and said she liked me. I said that I liked her too. We've been dating for 5 years now. There was a girl I was acquainted to throughout high school. During our senior year, we became close friends. I developed a bit of a crush on her, but thought she was way out of my league and had zero relationship experience at that point. I never acted on it and got over the crush easily enough, and we'd stay up late almost every night, just talking as friends. She had a habit of babbling random but amusing things when she got tired, and every day at school, she'd ask me what she said the night before. Well, one night, she let slip that she had told another friend of ours that she had a crush on me and wasn't sure what to do. Fast forward to the next morning at school. Her. What did I end up saying last night? Me. Well, you said that you told a friend that you had a crush on me. We awkwardly looked at each other for 10 seconds and left. We texted about it throughout the day, and I ended up just flat out asking if she'd be my girlfriend. Later that night at a football game, we were both in marching band, dated for about a year and a half, still friends 6 years after we broke up. Back in college, I was hanging out with some friends on the porch, having some beer. A cute girl I knew from class who lived a couple doors down came over to me and said, "Hey Snowjizz, do you think I could borrow a shirt?" I didn't think much of it, said sure, and took her upstairs to my room. When I turned around to give her a t-shirt, she had already taken hers off. I handed it to her and went back downstairs to give her some privacy. She quickly left and never really spoke to me again. It wasn't until weeks later I realized what an idiot I was. Standing at a street party, this pretty hot chick turns around, smiles and asks for a lighter. Being a gentleman and a stupid idiot, I light her cigarette and smile back politely. 20 minutes later, some sleazebag asks her for a lighter, and she takes one out of her purse and they hit it off. Never felt stupider. I was at a party at my buddy's lake house, and there was a girl that I thought was way out of my league, a lingerie model and a few years older than me. We talked for a little while swimming in the lake, but nothing significant. I went upstairs to shower, and about 2 minutes into showering, while I wasn't looking, I heard the door open and close. I opened my eyes to her just standing there naked in front of me. She asked if I had a girlfriend. I said no, and I think the rest is self-explanatory. Was at a friend's wedding. Her cousin randomly tells my friend, "He's super cute, is he single?" As I was leaving. We didn't talk at all but made eye contact a few times. I was flattered, but not interested. My friend texted me the next day. "My cousin thinks you're cute. If you want, I can give her your number." She was a few years older too and was attractive. I'm still convinced she had a lot of drinks and just randomly said that. Met her a few years later at a party and she didn't recognize me. She asked me to go to a dance with her as friends. I liked her but agreed to go as friends. I made sure to keep my hands to myself and I tried to respect the friends only rule. When I dropped her off at home afterwards, she ended up kissing me. Years later, she told me that she had apparently been hoping I would make a move all night and finally got tired of waiting, so she took matters into her own hands. Went to a concert with a friend, and last second he says, "I invited this girl. Don't hit on her. I think I have a chance." So I'm just my regular self, didn't even do anything funny. Thought she was funny and cool. End of the night, apparently, she asked for my number and said, "Your friend's cute. He was cool about it and I've been with her 10 years now. Put a ring on it." We were having freshers party in bachelor's degree, and you have to tell a name of your crush on stage, along with a little bit of your introduction. Most of them skipped the names, but she told it was me in front of 200-something people. I'm a simple, down-to-earth guy, and I was embarrassed and shocked out with all the attention. She slapped my ass really hard in the middle of class. My girlfriend did that to me in class in front of everyone, and I said to her after the bell, It's not appropriate to hit your teacher like that. A girl and I had started playing some video games together, mainly Gears of War 3, Halo Reach and Mass Effect 3. Anyway, Minecraft had not come out on the Xbox, and we were playing Castle Miner one day. While we were playing listening to music, she sends me a voice message that said, "I love you." It had cut out on the last word. I get back in the game and ask what she tried to say, and she giggled and replied with "I love you." Dated this girl for 2 years after. I am stationed in Japan, and on base we have a food court where local civilians work. Well, one day I walk in hungover as f***, and I go up to the FC counter and order my food. I look through my jeans and realize I forgot my wallet. I look up at her and smile a little, and ask her if I can come back in like 10 minutes, and she just giggles. I come back to find my chicken under the heating lamp, something they don't have to do. Fast forward a little bit, and every time this one girl is at the counter, I always end up having one more chicken strip than intended. I ended up giving her my number by writing it on the receipt and handing it back to her, and she was ecstatic. "You just gotta look for the signs and shoot your shot." She texted me saying, "Hey, can I ask something weird?" I then said, "Yeah," she replied. "Never mind." And then 5 minutes later, she said, "Never mind, I'm not a pussy. Wanna go out sometime?" Life pro tip. If a woman ever says something like weird question or random question, you're about to be hit with something she's been thinking about for weeks.